This is Ben, Liam and Bell on Nova.
G'day there, podcaster.
Episode 600!
Woo!
Yahoo!
I saw a few posts in the... Or just one, to be honest. It wasn't a few. We weren't swamped with posts.
Wouldn't say it was super popular.
I saw one post and it was like, can't wait, episode 600, baby! But we haven't got anything planned.
The thing is, what I'll say is, it's not like the 600th episode of the podcast ever, because it's only 600 since we started numbering them, which was probably like, I don't know, halfway through our first year at Nova.
Oh, I was going to say, is it?
No, it's not
you
600
didn't start
shows.
it from when we started at Nova?
No, not at all.
Oh.
So it's sort of, it's really a number that means nothing.
It's not even correct.
Not really. And then there's obviously lots of extra podcasts and they don't get numbered. And then you've got to take into account all the Triple J days. And then before that, all the community radio days. So we'd be well clear into the thousands by now of podcasts.
I look at the number because it is only the show podcast that's numbered. I looked at it as how many shows we've done at Nova.
No, it's not that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a bit of an anticlimax then.
You know, it is a little bit. It is, yeah.
All right, well, it's a nice round number anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe no, we missed the boat. We should have started counting again from when it was the Ben, Liam and Bell show. And then we would know how many days.
Hey, look, why don't we pop this champagne to celebrate? Ooh. None for you, Bell.
Yeah, Bell's got a bit of a problem around the booze. Anyway, let's keep...
Don't.
Oh, no, she's trying to get it off with a sword fight. She can't Liam. Oh, my God.
That's what happens when I have champagne. Oh, I start murdering everyone.
Enjoy episode 600.
Oh, hopefully 600 more episodes of lots of Foley work. Obviously, the AFL season hasn't kicked off yet, but all your favourite teams, they're putting in the work, they're doing the runs, they're doing pre-season. They often say this is the toughest part of the year. And Jason Gilbee from GWS, he's taken a bit of a different approach to his recovery and the sessions in general. He's not drinking water, which I'd imagine is pretty hard if you're doing like 20k runs in the sand and then you're doing weight sessions. No. He is hydrating, but just with milk.
This is such a funny, crazy story. He's eliminated water from his diet and he's just doing milk.
And he has been doing it for 3 years straight, just replacing water with milk. He joins us now. Jason, good morning. Firstly, why have you chosen to do this?
G'day, guys. How are we all?
Good, mate, good.
No, I don't really... it was just a few years ago and I was like I reckon it's got no flavour about it, water, so I'm like, I'm here drinking. I'm here having a glass of milk and I'm like, if this does the same thing as water, then I don't know why I don't just have this instead. So
Jason,
then I just sort of started drinking milk.
There's nothing, to me anyway, there's nothing worse than having a big glass of milk and then having to do any sort of fitness. But you're an AFL player, so you're smashing milk and then doing a pre-season training, is that right?
Yeah, and like this last few weeks, the sessions have been pretty big as well. So like before, like I'll wake up and like sometimes in the middle of the night I'll get thirsty and I'll wake up and I'll go have a glass of milk and then like in the morning before training, like a few minutes before we run out, like I'll have a glass of milk and then we'll go out. But the only thing is on the track, I can't. It goes warm on the track, so
of course
I can't drink it warm. So
you should just have a little esky with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to start thinking of something like that.
Jason, your guts would just be turning.
Oh, be crook, mate. Be crook. I wouldn't want to be around you in the dressing rooms if you let out a bit of a fart or something and drinking just litres of milk. I love the idea as well of, in an actual game scenario, you've got the water boy running out there. You've got those Powerade bottles that you put your chin into and it sprays the water in. And someone's I've got bloody Gilbee's bottle. It's just put full cream into my mouth.
Do your teammates give you a hard time about it?
Not the two boys that I live with are sort of Aaron Cadman and Max Grzyruski, we live together in Sydney, but I'm probably up a little bit earlier than them and I'm having me milk and they'll put their cereal in the bowl and there'll be none left. So they're not too happy about that, but there's sort of been a few boys who's like, right, let me have a try this, and they actually don't mind it, but they probably just can't drink it as much. But
right.
They think I'm pretty weird, but that's all right.
So, Jason, is it only cow's milk, or have you branched out to your almonds, your oats, your soy?
Nah, it's just pure full cream for about a year.
The good stuff.
For about a year, I moved in with a host family for about a year, and they only had light milk. So sort of changed myself to drink light milk for a year, but then I sort of got back to the full cream.
Yeah,
but,
right.
It's just pure cows.
For those that have just joined us and they don't know what's going on, we're speaking to Jason Gilbee, GWS Giants player. He exclusively drinks milk.
Cut out water, doesn't need
water
it. Do you shower in water, Jason? Are you showering in milk as well? Are you giving yourself milk baths?
Yeah, I'm still showering in the water.
That's good.
I'm not sure when that'll change, but
Have you been told off from the team nutritionist yet?
Well, first of all, I sort of said to her first day when we spoke to her, I said, Mel, the dietitian, I was like, Mel, so I don't drink much water, and she's like, I don't know how serious she took me, but she's like, oh, we're gonna have to change that. She hasn't gone off for it, but I don't really think she knew it was to this extent. But we're on our 4-day break at the moment, so I could be into something maybe.
Yeah. I got to ask, Jason, this is a bit of a personal question, but what does your wee look like? Because it surely can't be a clear stream. It can't be a hydrated man's wee.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's not often that clear. It's not often that clear. Yeah, it is a little bit that.
Do you know how people? So you can buy Powerade, or you can get like the powdered stuff and make it yourself. Are you putting that in your milk like Nesquik, so that you've got your Powerade isotonic full cream milk?
No, I haven't. I've got to try it. There's be a few things. People have a few ideas now, and I'm more than happy to try them out. I reckon I'll have to give something a try.
Yeah.
Well, all the best for the season to come with GWS. Jason Gilbee, the milkman. Appreciate you for joining us this morning. And mate, if it works for you, I mean, I'm never playing footy at an AFL grade, so like whatever, you do you.
I can't believe that.
Ever felt like a holiday after your holiday? Plan your next getaway on the What If app and access mobile exclusive deals. Plus, select hotels are fully refundable just in case your plans change. Booking cancellation windows apply. What if it's Aussie for travel?
Belle, you're back in Melbourne, your hometown, you're loving it. Ben and I have recently relocated here, certainly loving it as well, but because of that, new houses, setting up, that whole sort of thing. I don't have any kids myself, so Sarah and I, we have a 3-bedroom place, and there's a bit of an argument going on at home at the moment because we've got our bedroom, obviously.
Yep.
Then there's a spare bedroom, which is good, I suppose, if guests are coming over, family, interstate, mates, and that sort of thing. And then there's like this other room, and we've got like a $200 Bunnings mattress in there on this like Kmart bed, and it's like this. It's like the second spare room.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of saying, no, I think I'd like a sort of man cave type setup.
Right.
Ben, at your house, you've got like a whole room where you could put your PlayStation and...
Yeah, I don't call it a man cave.
Well, what do you call it?
Well, I call it my games room.
Well, yeah, so, I want a games room or a man cave.
It's like a playroom.
It is. It's where I got my PlayStation.
It's where he plays.
It's where I got my Pokemon cards.
Ben's playroom.
I put my posters up on the wall. Like I got like all these cool metal posters.
It's adult playroom, man cave.
And literally, we went to your house the other day, and I walked past that room, and I said, "See, I want a room like that," And my argument is like, yeah, we got pals and stuff, but if people are in town, they're going to take the spare bedroom. How often are we having like more than one couple staying for the weekend?
Yep.
Well, you don't need a whole room for it, though.
Well, at least, I've given up on the argument of having a whole room. What I wouldn't mind is like a sort of
a space.
Yeah, maybe like a little desk with a gaming monitor,
I
can have the PlayStation
what,
there.
Like when you're a kid and you have the computer in the kitchen so your mum can watch what you're doing.
It's not like a kid thing. It's not like a kid thing.
It's Liam's space where he can express himself and play video games.
Just do it on the TV.
Well, that's the thing. I've got a TV, but then because it's mounted on the wall and we don't have a cupboard underneath, and Sarah likes it looking clean, I've got to take my PlayStation out of the cupboard, plug it in, play it, and then I've got to put it away when I'm done. I've got to pack up my toys like I'm 10.
Exactly, because you're using a toy.
I'm not.
He shouldn't be doing that because every time he moves the PlayStation, there's a chance he could damage the internal parts.
No, you got to work for your right to play it.
You know what you got to do?
Yeah.
You got to call Sarah right now.
Right now.
And you got to say to her, we're getting rid of the Kmart bed, honey.
Yeah.
And I'm putting in a PlayStation room.
I'm going to lay it out.
You got to lay it out.
I'm going to say, hey, babe, it's my house too, yeah?
You got to be firm, though.
I'm the man of this house.
You got to be firm.
I want a games room.
Yeah.
Oh, get her up.
Oh, you're calling right now.
I'm going to give her a spray. Going to get my PlayStation room. I'm going to give it to her.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, baby, how you doing?
What's up?
I was just wondering, I've thought about it more. I'd really like to put the PlayStation in the spare room.
The guest room?
Well, yeah, there's the guest room and then there's like the spare guest room. And I'm thinking we could, maybe like Ben, I could turn it into a game, like an area where I have my PlayStation.
No, we don't. No, we barely have any room as it is.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You're a fully grown adult. We don't need a games room.
Well, it's more of a games area.
So lame, Liam.
It's not lame. It's cool. It's cool, but like Ben has one.
Yeah, we don't have enough room, Liam.
Okay, you're probably right.
Okay.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
That didn't go how I thought it would.
I chickened out a bit.
She agrees. It's a playroom.
She sounded pretty scary, you know what I mean?
You are a child.
If I was you, I'd be worried to go home.
Yeah.
She's scary.
Yeah.
She's right.
It's 6:10. Hallelujah, it's 6:10.
Yes, we're kicking into the 16 quiz a little bit late this morning, but we can see that some people have called through, but I don't know if our phones are working.
Yeah, I believe the phones are cooked. We can see you there, Angela. I don't know if we can speak to you. Angela, have we got you?
Good morning.
Oh, Ange, thank God for that. Okay, all things are going to be well. Well, let's kick into the quiz. Darcy Moore has become the new captain of Collingwood. Are you a Collingwood fan? Who do you barrack for?
Essendon, embarrassing.
Essendon. Oh, very. Hey, look, I'm sure it's their season. Why did Collingwood have to replay the 2010 grand final match against St Kilda 1 week after it was played?
It was a draw.
It was. Paul Rudd has touched down in Sydney. How many strings does a bass guitar have?
6.
Ooh, it's not 6.
This is a tough one. I wouldn't get this one.
You wouldn't get this?
No.
Well, let's see if Sam Pakenham knows. It's not 6. It's less than that. There's your clue. It's less than 6. How many strings does a bass guitar have?
I'll go for 4.
Slap at a bass man. He's got it. Dr. Phil is coming to an end after 21 seasons. What's the famous quote by Bad Baby on his show? Do you remember her?
Catch me outside. How about that?
He's done it. The radioactive pellet that they lost in remote Western Australia that could have killed people if they stumbled across it has been found, thank God. Can you spell nuclear?
Nucleur.
Oh, so close, Sam.
13, 24, 10. Give us a buzz because spelling ones always trip people up, so we might run out of callers.
Steph in Essendon, nuclear. Does it scare you, that word, or do you think you can spell it for us?
I think I can spell it. Nuclear.
She's done it. Very well done. Last question. You're on a roll here. There's a new Elvis musical coming to Melbourne, but they haven't found an Elvis yet. Can you finish these lyrics?
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Crying all the time.
Very good. Hey, maybe you could play Elvis, Steph. I mean, that was beautiful. Sounded just like the king. Well done. Thank you for joining us. You are going to be heading along to Palace Pentridge Open Air Cinema. We've got a double pass for that one, so you can go see a film. And
Lucky duck.
guess what? You also get to pick the next song we play. So would you like to hear this one this morning?
Or, Steph, if you've had a little bit enough of gym class heroes, we've also got this one.
What are you feeling, Steph?
Probably the second one.
Yeah. What a banger. Yep, there's a brand new airline. Bonza is the name of it. It's a cheap one. It's also a very Australian one. That's what they're going for. Their planes called like Bazza and Shazza, and I like that. I mean, imagine instead of landing and hearing this, you're getting a bit of this. G'day, you bastards. This is your Captain Flipper here. Sit down, buckle up if you want. If there's an emergency, listen to me. No pissing around, all right? All right. Hooroo, dog poo. Have a good flight.
I don't think you understand, Liam. They actually did do that. Because Bonza just launched in the last 24 hours, when everyone was boarding the plane, they had this young kid performing Thunderstruck.
No, they didn't.
But they replaced Thunder with Bonza.
No.
Everyone's boarding with their tickets.
Is he like 10 years old?
Yeah.
Bonza. His name's Trent. Hey, all right, guys. We got Trent here in the first row. He's going to be performing for the whole flight. It's an in-flight entertainment. Bonza, meanie.
Well, we have
With a cattle whip.
We've asked 13, 24, 10. Have you flown, Bonza? We're curious. Anthony joins us. Anthony, you've flown. How was it?
It was actually pretty incredible, guys. I can tell you I was a little bit nervous hopping on the plane because they're actually using the 737 MAX, a jet that was plagued with problems many years ago.
Okay.
They've become the first Australian airline to use that jet. But overall, pretty good.
Sounds risky, but okay.
Did you have one of the hot dogs?
I actually had a little bit of an issue with the food. Now, obviously, Bonza's doing things a little bit differently in comparison to other airlines. There's no trolley service. What they're doing is you order food from the touch of a button on your phone using the Bonza app.
Yeah.
But the only issue with that is obviously it's the first flight, so a lot of people are excited. A lot of people want to try the food. But there's only a couple of cabin crew in the cabin bringing out that food once you've placed your order. And unfortunately, I ordered mine a little bit too late. So the problem lies with me. So my order got cancelled.
I feel like in my head, Bonza has that system where they hand you the buzzer, and then when it lights up, and you go, you go to the front and be like, yeah, just the Palmer, please.
Anthony, what was your thoughts on the purple colour scheme?
You know what? It's actually very nice to see a change of colour scheme. Obviously, what is it? The low-cost carrier of Australia is right now Jetstar, and before that it was Tiger. So it's always been those tinges of yellow and orange, and so it's quite a nice, refreshing thing to see, a nice tinge of purple painting our skies.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Anthony, I was a little bit worried. I was like, because you're talking about it so well. I was like, do you work for Bonza? But then I thought about it, and I was like, well, you wouldn't have mentioned the planes being the dodgy ones.
Yeah. or the crappy food service. No, it's obviously that's working things out, first few flights.
Well, we've got another call. Somebody else who's flown Bonza. Ashton joins us now. Ashton, my first question is also, what was the actual flying like? Like, was it a bit rickety or was it fine?
No, it was so good. So I got invited to fly on there because I run a charity, so they offered a few charities and seats on the plane.
Oh, nice.
So, so it was amazing. I was sort of sitting up towards the front though, so my food came out nice and quick. I didn't see the issues further.
So Ashton, did you get one of those hot dogs?
I got like a crepe thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very Bonza.
A crepe. I saw the guy in front of me get a hot dog, and it looked pretty good.
Maybe missed out. What's the legroom situation like?
Yeah, good. It's just like a normal, every other plane out there. Like I used to fly a lot of Virgin when I used to fly a lot to Melbourne a lot, and it was the same, pretty much exactly the same, except the plane's nice and clean.
Yeah.
It's new. It doesn't have all the scars that older planes have.
Was there an in-flight magazine or no magazine?
No magazine, but they've got an app and you can watch things on the app. I actually didn't know. I just couldn't shut up talking to people. But, there's an app you can watch movies, I believe, and you can order your food, which I did.
I love if you can only watch The Castle and Cracker Jack and old episodes of Kath and Kim, and it has to be all Australiana themed.
I think all this talk of Bonza has made me want to fly Bonza.
Yeah,
I want to experience it.
This is not an ad. Like, we haven't...
No.
We said some bad things about Bonza as well. That's sort of the tell. If we're like, oh, wow, it sounds so great and the flights are so affordable, then you'd know it's an ad.
Ashton, thank you very much. I think to round us out here, we're going to hear from the Bonza kid one more time doing his rendition of Thunderstruck.
Take it away, Trent. 2 American men have broken the Guinness World Record for the most fist bumps in 30 seconds. We've got the audio here. Sorry, Ben, that's the wrong video. Can you pull that down?
Oh, sorry.
Here it is. They did it 297 times. The previous record was 174 from an Iraqi guy. I tell you what, though, I don't know. I reckon 297. I reckon that's achievable. I think
297 fist bumps in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but it's like, so if you're looking at it, it's like 2 men face on.
They're double timing both hands.
They're double fisting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the title of today's podcast.
Yeah.
It
looks like they do slow down towards the end. I think
should we try and break it?
Does it have to be 2 people? Can we do 3?
We'll have to get Guinness on the line, but
triple fisting.
Yes.
Oh, no, I was wrong. That's the name of today's podcast.
No, it's a three-way fist.
Well,
jeez, they keep getting better.
watch this space. I reckon in terms of world records that are breakable,
I reckon that's achieved. You know what I mean?
Pretty
You know,
up
you
there.
hear about someone planking for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, well, we can't do that. But I reckon I could easily get 300 fist bumps.
I reckon
in
we can
30
do-
I mean, you've only got 30 seconds of pain for a lifetime of glory. I mean,
yeah.
it's worth it.
All right.
This, I tell you what, watch this space. That world record is going to be very short-lived.
Lehman Bell, you've met my older sister Bianca, haven't you? Bell, you would have met her at the wedding.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, and Liam, you've definitely met her.
I've met Bianca a few times.
So she is a mother of 4 boys, an absolute madhouse. You got Lockie, who's the oldest. He's 10, I believe. Then you got Mason, who's 7. You got Isaac, who's 5. And then she's got Jackson, who's 1. So she kept rolling the dice for a girl. She kept getting boys. Now she's got 4 boys.
That's horrible.
Go
Yeah.
for a fifth, I say.
We call them the football team. It's literally, she's basically got a quarter of a football team. And so one of them ended up in the emergency room last night because I called my sister just for a chat and I was like, oh, I could hear some noise in the background. I said, where are you? She said, I'm sitting in the waiting room. And I said, what happened? And she said, well, it was Isaac. I took my eyes off him for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened? And she said, well, he was playing The Floor is Lava, which is a totally normal game for kids to play. And he was jumping from couch to couch, as kids do, a little bit Gumby, missed his jump, slipped, hit his forehead on the corner of the couch. 4 stitches, just absolutely split his head open.
I feel like with 4 boys, though, she'd be in the emergency room every
All
week.
the time.
The worst
All
bit
the time.
is, obviously, his head split open, but he's also in the lava. So
He lost the game.
Yeah, Mum, take me to the hospital. I'm burning from the lava.
There's lava everywhere. That's blood, mate.
I wonder if he's going to have an epic scar for the rest of his
I
life.
wonder.
Look like Harry
It is-
Potter.
I mean, it is kind of funny though. It's a good story, I suppose, to say
because he's okay.
he's fine.
I remember a story of my older brother, James. My mum told me that when he was younger, she said same thing. Took my eyes off him for 2 seconds. I think it was in the kitchen. He must have grabbed a lollipop from the pantry because she put him to bed. The next day, she went in to go check on him because he was still asleep. I can't remember how old he was. I think he was about 6 or 7. Went to go check on him. He'd fallen asleep with a lollipop in his mouth.
That's not good.
Which is obviously super dangerous. But he didn't choke on it. It just, the sugar was on his tooth all night and it rotted one of his teeth. It was a baby tooth, but the sugar rotted the tooth.
Yeah, right. It's like those
He
stories
could've-
of people fall asleep smoking with a dart out their mouth.
He could have choked and died.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's that easy. 13 24 10. Give us a buzz. Let us know. I took my eyes off him for 2 seconds.
When I was young, my mum took her eyes off me for 2 seconds and my 2 brothers, and we were playing around with one of those, those little plastic see-through containers with the 4 tiny wheels?
Yep.
Yeah, so we were pushing my little brother around in one of those, and then my older brother pushed the whole thing over my foot, and it peeled my whole toenail off, which was fun.
Toenails and nails, just the thought of them bending but ripping one off.
I've still got the toenail, actually.
In a jar or something.
Yeah, in a little container.
Whoa.
That's weirder. Belinda in Carrum Downs, you took your eyes off them for 2 seconds.
Yeah, just my young bloke and his little, and our puppy at the time. They were playing with a toy, and back then, because he's 20, back then they didn't actually screw the battery in.
Yep.
You know how they have the cover to screw it in?
Yep.
And then suddenly there was no battery, and we were looking at the dog, and we were looking at the 2-year-old going, okay,
Yeah.
which one's eating the
supercharged?
battery?
And the question is, what's more expensive? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, that's what we said at the hospital when we rushed in, because batteries aren't good.
Yeah.
They erode with stomach acid.
Uh-huh.
So we've rushed to the hospital and they've gone, look, are you sure he's eaten a battery? And I'm like, yeah, I am sure. Because in my head, it was, he's got to have eaten the battery or it's going to cost me $2,000.
It's a real gamble.
You're kind of like weirdly hoping he has eaten it.
And so, Belinda, I'm dying to know, was it the dog or was it the son?
No, it was the son.
Okay, good.
And then I said to the emergency, I said, thank God for that. And they go, but this is not good. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because I just have to wash his poo. I just have to watch his poo for 3 days.
Yeah. And so
With
did
the
you
dog,
end up...
It's going to cost me...
Yeah, a lot of money. Did you end up finding the battery in the son's stool?
Yeah, they'd x-rayed him.
Yeah.
And, of course, the battery was sitting in there.
Yep.
So because it had actually already started to travel, because it was one of those very small flat batteries,
Yep.
it came out 3 days later. So we have the memorabilia in a jar.
What is it with mums putting weird gear in jars? We should do that. What did your mum put in a jar? Because we've had, in the last 2 minutes, we've had toenail, little poo battery. Rochelle from East Keilor, you took your eyes off them for 2 seconds.
Well, I can't say mine. Well, mine's pretty bad. When my son was about 6 months old, you know, when it sort of gets daylight, sort of in the morning, it's sort of still a little bit dark. I'd put him on the floor, stomach down, and I went to turn on the light. And as I've turned on the light, I turned away, and the chandelier above, because it was a rental house and it was really old, had actually fallen and hit my son on the head. So he ended up with a big, you know, scar on the top of his head and everything. So I turned away just for a split second. But my 2-year-old daughter was an absolute angel. She said, "Oh, Mummy, it's okay. I'll get the tea towel and put it on his head and everything." So
Well, that's good. But
yeah,
that's, I mean, the silver lining there is absolutely not your fault. Like, you can't predict the chandelier is going to fall on your child.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's like ghost kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
If, like, if a chandelier just suddenly falls right where you've put your baby.
That ghost really didn't want that baby around.
Rachel from Nari Warren, you took your eyes off them for 2 seconds.
I did, and my son was 2 at the time, and we had a dog, and they loved each other. So everywhere the dog went, my son went, and he was barking at the fence. She was barking at the fence, and my son was with him and with her. And
what gender is this dog? You're confusing me now.
I've got a male dog now, so that's why I say
That's okay.
Sorry.
You're right. You're right.
So the dog accidentally scratched my son. Well, didn't scratch, but hit his nose with her paw, and his nose ended up hanging off. So we had a trip to the hospital and had to have his nose sewn back on when he was 2 years old.
What is it like now, Rachel?
He's got a permanent scar, so it's a permanent reminder. He's 20 now. It's perfectly fine. It was cut right down to the cartilage and hanging off. And at the time, I remember he was quite calm about the whole thing. But the rest of us weren't, of course. But
I wonder if the
he's
pain
fine
is
now.
like the cut is so deep that it cuts the nerves, and then he can't really. I don't know.
I'm assuming
They said it was cut down to the cartilage.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
There was no blood. It was so deep. It was like, very, you know, when something you cut something so deep that it doesn't really bleed very much.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Dad. Rachel.
That's wild.
I'm not having breakfast this morning, but
that is.
I'm assuming it wasn't a dash hound or a little toy poodle, was it? That was a real dog. I took my eyes off of them for 2 seconds. Louise and Nari Warren, what happened to you?
Hey, how are ya?
Good.
That's good. My son's dog at the time, he was 8, decided to get out of the backyard and out the front, so he decided to jump the fence to go get him and accidentally split open his manhood.
On the fence.
Yep.
How old did you say he was?
8.
Yeah.
And how's
Not
that
great.
recovery been?
It was hard because he wanted to keep looking at it to make sure it was okay.
Yeah.
And take the steri strips off, and I'm like, no, mate, you got to leave them on. So it was a fun process.
Yeah, because you don't get a cast for something like that, do you? Because as a kid, it's kind of fun. You break your arm, everyone signs it. But I'd imagine that's not the case.
Incredible news. The deadly, seriously dangerous radioactive capsule, smaller than the size of a 10-cent piece, has been found after 6 days lost somewhere in WA, posing an absolute threat to all lives around it. But the nation stopped yesterday for WA Emergency Services Minister Stephen Dawson.
We successfully retrieved the radioactive capsule after searching hundreds of kilometres in the outback and in the metro area over the last 6 days.
Well done, Steve. Well done, everyone. We're not going to die.
What was his official title, sorry?
He's the WA Emergency Services Minister.
I feel like he wouldn't have that much to do.
Well, not until this radioactive capsule gets lost on the freeway.
It does feel like the biggest emergency in Western Australia in the last 20-odd years.
The thing is, he said, quote, "I do want to emphasise this is an extraordinary result. It should not be undermined. the search crews have quite literally found the needle in a haystack. But then it goes on to say that they were driving a truck at 70 kilometres an hour just down the freeway with a sensor that then went
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's a little bit easier than finding an actual needle in a haystack when it's a radioactive needle. I love the idea of everyone lining up, though, because, I mean, you want to break the news. Obviously, it's a bit embarrassing, but, the police would be there. I'm sure the military, the actual people who lost it in the first place. I wonder if they flipped a coin for who would do the press conference.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wait, Steve, that's not a 10-cent piece. That's the capsule. Grows a fourth arm. What a wonderful morning it is, Ben. I love your jumper. And Belle, may I say you are looking beautiful today.
What's wrong? What's happened?
Why are you being creepy?
No, I'm not being creepy. It's a new thing I'm doing. I had a dinner with a friend last night, and she's all about like self-help and that sort of thing. And she sets herself a challenge every day where she compliments someone.
That is a challenge.
Well, yeah, no, so yeah, I was thinking of trying that on. And so she does it to strangers and stuff on the street. And I was like, well, that's easy for you. You're like a nice looking woman. If I walk up to someone at the tram stop and go, I like your smile, I'll get pepper sprayed. See, I was trying to be nice then and you said it was creepy.
It's just weird.
All right, well, I'll put the challenge to you.
No,
So
you look great today, Liam.
Feels like you're choking on your own words there.
Is that a new white shirt you're wearing?
It is, actually, yes.
I don't like how high the cut
That's
is.
not a compliment, Ben. That's having a dig at my shirt.
I don't really do compliments, Liam.
Well, that's not the challenge.
Okay,
is it?
sorry.
Okay.
Your hair looks nice.
Thanks, Belle. That's 2 from Belle and 0. Belle's winning 2-0 this morning.
What's trending?
Well, huge news today. Pete Davidson has shaved his head.
No, Pete!
No,
I loved his ratty blonde hair.
Oh, it hasn't been blonde for like a year. He dyed it brown.
Okay, sorry, Belle. I'm behind the times.
He already looks sick. He shouldn't shave his head.
Yeah, I must admit, I know, because you find Pete Davidson really sexy, right, Belle?
I don't find him sexy, but I find him... I see what the
You
hype
get
is
it.
about because
You
he's
get it.
funny and he takes the piss out of himself. I get it. But he has now completely shaved his head. He's been spotted at a basketball game. It's real, like, we're not talking like shaved
It's
short hair.
skin, yeah.
Now, there is talks maybe it's for an upcoming role, but this also actually comes after he said that he's going to attempt to remove all of his tattoos by 30.
Okay, what's the movie going to be? Is he playing a naked mole rat or something? Because it looks like,
mean.
when there's like a dog and it's like a little bit of a mutt and it's like, oh, it's cute, but then you shave it down, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And the latest episode of The Last of Us has been hailed as a masterpiece and one of the greatest pieces of television.
Here's the thing, Frank. If I feed you, then every bum you talk to about it is going to show up here looking for a free lunch. And this is not an Arby's.
Well, Arby's didn't have free lunch. It was a restaurant.
We have spoken about The Last of Us on this show briefly before, and we said you have to go watch this show. Since then, episode 3's come out. Episode 3 is just absolute perfection.
And like Ben and I have been talking about it like every morning going, oh wow, it's like the best show ever. And you're not keen yet, Belle, because you think it's just like a zombie show.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's more
okay?
than that.
Episode 3, it made me spring a leak.
Can I just watch episode 3 then? Or is it
No,
like-
I mean...
See, it's annoying because you probably could, because it's a story within a story. So you could just watch episode 3, but please don't do that. Just watch episode 1, 2, and then watch 3.
Yeah, all right.
Literally, I mean, I think the world has just been crying over it.
Yep.
It's just like, where did that come from? Because you think you're watching a zombie show,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden you're getting this whole other like love story, and it's it's a whole thing.
Well, maybe I do need another TV show to watch because, sadly, Dr. Phil is done.
Catch me outside. How about that?
The 71-year-old has called it quits after 25 years on TV, 21 seasons. But he has announced that he's wrapping up his daily show, and there are now plans to announce like a prime time partnership for next year. So not this year.
Okay,
next
so
year. He's taking a year off.
he's kind of not. He's doing a John Farnham, like he's done, but he's not done.
Kind of. Well, watch this space. He might be doing a completely different TV show.
I mean,
Who knows?
I still feel like we're going to get him here for the next 30 odd years because, like, I feel like we're still getting ones from the 90s. Like, if you have a sick day from school, you're like, this is a pretty old episode of Dr. Phil. But it is sad, though.
We still haven't got the Cash Me Outside
Yeah,
episode
we're still waiting for that one. We are still waiting for it. I'm a little worried, guys. Not going to lie. Paul Rudd has touched down in Australia. He's here for the red carpet premiere of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantum Mania. Jeez.
Why do
really.
you guys not like Ant-Man? It's the only action film that
Ben.
I like.
I'm pretty sure Ben actually liked Ant-Man. That's the first date he went on with his wife.
Correct, Liam. Right. I like the Marvel movies. I like the first Ant-Man, and then
there was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and now we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. You can't just keep putting words on the end of the first film you did and expect us all to buy tickets.
Every franchise does that.
Well, here's the deal. I'm not worried because I think my fiancé will want to go watch Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I don't think there's any danger of that. I'm just worried because it's her hall pass. And I've shaken on that because I'm like, yeah, I mean...
The Wasp?
Whatever. No, he's the Ant-Man, actually, Belle. Obviously, she's not seen the films. He's in Hollywood, doesn't matter, never going to happen. It's unachievable. Then all of a sudden, Paul Rudd's he's walking around. He's got he's at Coles and stuff. Yeah. He's doing his shopping. And if something were to happen, I'm not saying it will, but I've already agreed to it. It's her hall pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's not, don't worry. She won't. Well, she is very beautiful though, and I maybe you should be a little bit worried.
If the opportunity were given, Paul Rudd would take
Doesn't
it.
he have a wife and kids?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying if it does, I can't be mad about it. That's how hall passes work.
I would be worried as well. See, I'm in a similar situation with my wife, Sam, because her hall pass is just a little bit too achievable. Now, the person's definitely a star, but I think in terms of because... I mean, we work in radio, so we've kind of run in these circles. Guy Sebastian, I think that's... I'm
sorry,
that's such a random one.
I'd almost say they can't live in Australia. I'd almost say, apart from like maybe Chris Hemsworth and stuff, like it sort of feels like it's too close to the line.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Ash in the newsroom, your partner has an achievable hall pass. Is that right?
Well, definitely achievable. Like you say, in terms of proximity, she's in Australia, so his hall pass is Channel 7 presenter Georgie Parker.
No, sorry. I'm sorry. Georgie Parker. No.
And the day after he told me, he saw her in the supermarket because I think they live in a similar suburb.
Hey, Ash, I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm willing to wager that he saw her the day before Coles.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah. All right, why don't we do that this morning? 13 24 10. Give us a buzz, Melbourne, and let us know, was their hall pass too achievable?
Nikki in Clayton,
Yes.
is this your partner's? Is it a little too achievable?
Yeah, Sophie Monk, they know each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, Sophie Monks, and how do they know each other?
From Movie World. His mum worked there from day one, and he was Marilyn Monroe, and she used to go to his house.
Okay.
Does he still talk to her?
No, they've lost contact.
Right, he just still fantasizes over her as...
But every time he sees her on The Bachelor, and he's always smiling his heart out.
Yeah. You just keep an eye on that, Nikki. You just keep an eye on that.
Don't go back to Movie World.
Alex joins us now. Does your partner have a hall pass that's a little too achievable?
You there? Hello.
Hey, Alex.
Hello.
Yeah, we're here, mate.
Yeah, my wife likes Andy Ellen from MasterChef.
It's
and then the
achievable.
worst bit is that my sister is dating Dylan Alcott, and Dylan, for her birthday, got him to send her a video.
He's getting closer.
Yeah.
Do you think he would prefer him as a brother-in-law, perhaps? Maybe.
Sarah joins us now. Good morning, Sarah. Is your partner's hall pass a little too achievable?
Yeah, well, look, just to preface this whole thing, we had the conversation and my hall pass was Vince Colosimo. And I thought, well, that's cute. So I said, well, who's yours? And he sort of said, well, I think it's the neighbour.
Oh, well,
I said, no, but you don't understand. That's not how a hall pass works. It's like a celebrity, unachievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the neighbour. So he stuck with it. So unfortunately, we're no longer together, but I'm not sure if the hall pass ever worked out for him.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Sarah, sorry about that. Also, can I say, I literally saw Vince Colosimo walking down Chapel Street like 3 days ago. So
my God. I might have to pull over. I hope I don't have a car accident.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, also like fairly achievable. But hey, look, if you ever do, slide into Vince's DMs or something, you can enjoy authentic Italian cuisine paired with the perfect drop at Bonza Estate in the heart of the Yarra Valley. We've got 6 bottles of wine from them coming your way.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.